Well, this is the Following On podcast. I'm Andrew Mckenna. I'll have Darren, Gough and Jarrod Kimber alongside me looking back on the second one-day international between India and England. A one-day international which saw India victorious by 4 wickets, winning with 33 balls to spare, knocking off England's 304 all-outs. They were all out with 1 ball unused from their innings. India chasing them down 44 and a half overs to go 2-0 up in the series. Top scorer for England, Joe Root. He made 69 from 72. Ben Duckett also got into the 60s, 65 from 56 for him. Liam Livingstone, 41 from 32. The most successful bowler for India, Ravindra Jadeja, 3 for 35 for him from his 10 overs. So India needed to score 305. That was 6.1 and over from the outset. Well, Rohit Sharma almost seemed to take that as a personal challenge. He and Shubman Gill started things off in great fashion. Shubman Gill, the first man to go, bowled by a beautiful Yorker by Jamie Overton, made 60 from 52 balls. That was 136 for 1 in only the 17th over. Rohit went on to complete a magnificent 119 from 90 balls he ended up with. Virat Kohli missed out, caught behind off the bowling of Adil Rashid, 5 from 8. Shreyas Iyer run out in slightly bizarre circumstances, 44 from 47. But even that, combined with KL Rahul going for 10 and Hardik Pandya also going for 10, wasn't able to get England back into this one. So India victorious, and it means they go 2-0 up. In terms of the England bowling, well, Jamie Overton finished with the most wickets, 2 for 27 from his 5. Also wickets for Gus Atkinson, 1 for 65 from 7 for him. Adil Rashid 1 for 78 for 10, and Liam Livingstone 1 for 29 from 7. Saqib Mahmood bowled 6 overs for 36. Mark Wood 8 overs for 57. Joe Root 9 deliveries, cost 15, and India win the match. Goughy, in terms of this game, we thought 300 was about the minimum they would wanted. If England had got 25, 30 more, they would have had a chance, but that innings from Rohit was so special, it would have decided an awful lot of games.
Yeah, they would have done it. One of England's players would have gone on and got 3 figures. They would have been looking around that 325, 335 score, which would have been a very, very good score on this pitch. But India, they were in cruise, especially after the start they had. Rohit Sharma, absolutely outstanding. Played shots. People say he's under pressure. Absolutely ridiculous. He's a quality player, especially white ball. Shots all round the wicket, whether it be straight, through the leg side, through the offside. He had everything. He even got the reverse sweep out today, and he was well supported. And I mean supported by Shubman Gill. Played some wonderful, wonderful cricket shots against the new ball.
Let's roll it back to the start of the day. England winning the toss and batting. They went in with 3 changes to their team. Jofra Archer, Bryden Cast missed out as Mark Wood and Gus Atkinson came in. And the third change was Jacob Bethel being replaced by Jamie Overton today. More significant than that, though, Jacob Bethel has a hamstring problem, which is going to keep him out for the rest today, and indeed the final game of the series. But I suppose the bigger concern has to be the Champions Trophy coming up. As one of their all-round options, England are going to be concerned. Tom Banton's going to come up as cover for the final match, but just some thoughts on Jacob Bethel and that potential seriousness of that injury.
Well, first of all, I'm surprised if Jacob Bethel ends up being out of the Champions Trophy. Surely they want they need a left armour in there, spinner. I mean, but if they're bringing in Banton, that tells you he's going to be the reserve player for the Champions Trophy. If he's not, I'd be asking questions. So that'd be the first one. An hamstring injury, if it's a serious one, it's 6 weeks. If it's a minor one, you're looking at 3 to 4 weeks. If it's just resting him and just want to see how he rocks up, yeah, he might be fit come the Champions Trophy. But it's a very risky business, a player going into a tournament with a dodgy hamstring.
So we will keep an eye out on that one. Tom Banton was playing in the UAE and in decent form. He's gone home at the end of that tournament. The plan is that he will be flying out shortly to join the squad, officially as cover for Wednesday's game, but we will find out. 2 changes for India today. Virat Kohli coming in for Jaiswal at the top of the order. Kuldeep getting a rest for Chakravarti, and once again Chakravarti bowled well, took another wicket, 1 for 54 from his 10. Looking at the England performance, you keep saying it, you want someone to go on and make that big 100, and unfortunately there's a couple of good scores, there's a few starts. What do you think is stopping them going on and making that big score at the moment? Well,
what I will say is that England were better today than they were the other day. So let's look at the positive. They were better. They seemed to have a plan when they were coming in, the batters. They wanted to get in, try and get a partnership going, and then press on the accelerator. There's a couple of stages today that they just stopped scoring. When Phil Salt got out and Duckett and Root was together, it froze Ben Duckett, didn't it? Because Joe came in, he was a little bit slow to get going, and then Ben ended up getting out, and then Harry took a bit of time to get in at the start, and it was a slow knock for him, and he wanted him to go on. If he'd have gone on and got 80 or 90 there from 70 deliveries, you'd have been well happy, right? But it was then down to Joe Root. He got out when he was in, scoring at just under a run a ball. And then they were always struggling. If it weren't for Liam Livingstone hitting some great shots at the end, we'd have been probably looking around, 280, 283. But we managed to get a decent total, 304. I thought it was competitive, but we had to bowl well. And we didn't. Let's be straight. The seamers again were disappointing. There were some strange decisions from the captain about bowling changes. How late did he bring Livingstone into the game? How late did he bring Overton into the game? And Joe Root comes on. There was strangest timing for Joe Root to come on, where they still look and go bang, 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 and they could surprise victory from nothing. And they bring the off spinner on because 2 left-handers were batting right at the end, when the 2 seamers have just got 2 wickets with short pitch bowling. Strange decision at the end there.
Yeah. Right, let's pause, because Shubman Gill has just been speaking with our colleagues on the TV about his skipper's return to form today and that incredible innings of Rohit Sharma.
You know, the way he took on the bowlers, we have seen that over the past couple of years, how he's been batting in the ODIs, and I think the way he dominated the fast bowlers today was just treat to watch from the non-striker end.
Yeah, you both went hard at the England bowlers. What was the pitch like in the second half?
It was a good wicket to bat on. The odd ball, I think, was skidding a bit, but overall, I think it was a very good wicket to bat on.
And a lot of positives to come out from today's game, because the chase was a little tougher than the earlier ones. You were chasing over 300. And what was the chat between you and Rohit right through there?
Honestly, the chat was simple, you know, just play according to the ball, and once you are set, try to go big, and then try to dominate the game when you can.
Shubman Gill speaking with Ravi Shastri a few moments ago. We said during the commentary, Goughy, that Shubman Gill is just such a quality player, and if he was playing for another country the way he is, he would be one of the superstars. But when you're in a country with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, he kind of not goes under the radar. That would be unfair to him, but he's not the superstar that he would be anywhere else in the world.
He will be in 5 years. If he carries on playing like he has done these 2 one-day internationals. There's so much promise in Shubman Gill. There's so much. They do think he's a great player. But it makes you think, doesn't it? When he got out, they were cheering when he got out because it brought Virat Kohli to the crease. That's what they consider the true god there, is Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli in this modern-day team. But Gill is a terrific talent. Shreyas Iyer, a terrific talent. Rahul is a solid player, averaging just under 50 in one-day international cricket. He's keeping Rishabh Pant out of the side, who will probably play for most of the teams, right? So they've got high-quality talent in that side. And Shubman Gill, these last 2 games, has played some unbelievable cricket shots. For me, the way he plays that in-to-out over extra and his pull shot are just as good as you get in world cricket. That pull shot, he doesn't look to hit sixes with it, he looks to hit 4s, he keeps the ball on the ground. And what he's just described in the interview, the idea is to get in, get a partnership going, and then accelerate when you're in. That's normal 50-over cricket. It's not heads gone, you know, go in, swing from wherever, and try and hit as many sixes as you can. You can catch up at the end. We saw it from Livingstone today. in that last 4 or 5 overs, if you can hit 5 sixes, you're getting, during the last 5 overs, you're getting another 50, 60 runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's defeat for England means that they have now lost the most one-day internationals of all the sides who've scored 300 or more. England have lost, when they've scored 300 or more, 28 times. Beating India, who've scored 327 times and lost. The West Indies managed it 23 times. What that tells me, Jarrod Kimber, is just how the game has changed, because it's becoming more and more normal. A few years ago, if you lost having put 300 on the board, I mean, there'd be root and branch investigations.
I mean, it's one of those stats. It's not a good thing to have happened to you because you've got the record, but it's not a bad thing because it means they've scored over 300 times. That, you know, they've got themselves into that position. They've been a batting side, since 2015, really, since the rebrand, you know, and everything else. They've got a lot of runs. They try and score 30 to 40 runs more than par and use that pressure. And we saw today, I thought 330 to 340 would have been an interesting score today. It just wasn't enough. We said it at the time, and in the end, it was they got there easily. But they've got 6 wickets in both the games. They're still manufacturing the wickets, but they're not doing it from a position of pressure, right? They're almost doing it because India's like, well, we've already won. Now what's going to happen?
Well, it looks good at the end, doesn't it? Yeah. We managed to get a couple of wickets and make it look closer than it actually was. The scary thing for me is, but India are at 75% at the moment. I don't know if England can get much better. The only way they can get better probably is by one of the players getting 100. But India, I think they've still got 25% in the locker.
Well, I'm delighted to say that Steve Harmison and Chetan Narula are joining us at this point in the Following On podcast. I'll make that point that Gough has just made to you, Harmy. Is that maybe the potential concern from England's point of view here, that actually we're pretty much at the level, whereas India have got maybe 1 or 2 gears more to go?
Yeah, India have definitely got 1 or 2 more to go, but I think we're at the level because I think of personnel. I don't know what Darren thinks, but I think Jamie Overton at number 7, I mean, we are 20 or 30 runs short, and we probably set ourselves as good a platform as any to go, into 5th gear, into 6th gear, and really have a grandstand finish, like Jarrod was talking about, getting to 320, 340, 350. And I think we are at this moment in time doing that with, I think it's a lack of personnel in that lower to middle order. Livingston was much better today. It was a really as much as I dug him out during the week, it was a better innings, but he came in at the right time for Liam Livingstone. If England go on, somebody in the top order goes on and takes responsibility and gets 100, like Darren says, then you couldn't get a complete performance. But I just think at this minute in time, we are so unbalanced with the group that we've got at this minute that some of our bowlers are very, very samey. We are probably a top-class spinner short for this part of the world and for where the Champions Trophy's at. And I think we are missing an explosive number 7. That means Overton and Karst can fight for the number 8 spot, and that's where we can potentially get a score where we're going to be either around par or above par.
Army, can I ask you a question? If your thoughts on it here, we brought Tom Banton in, we're going to bring him in now for Jacob Bethel as cover for that last one day. Come the Champions Trophy, if he's not fit, Jacob Bethel, do you see it as that Banton will be his natural replacement for that?
No, I think Jamie Smith. I think Smith and Bethel are fighting for that one spot. Whether Banton comes into the equation or not, you'd like to think he would. Now he's been selected and brought over here, where he's a top order player. So does he fit into that middle order or that number 4 spot? Harry Brook moves to 5, Josh Butler moves to 6. I don't think you can do that.
I mean, the reason I'm saying
if you look at it,
the reason I'm saying it, surely that's the opportunity then, because Jacob Bethel bowls that left arm spin. That's the opportunity then where we have to get a spinner, don't we? Surely.
Well, you would think that whatever we're short at this moment in time, you'd probably say the spin is the one that's. It's not killing us, but I think it's harming us in the middle period, in the middle overs. Another spin bowler to go with Adil Rashid. Yes, we could probably do with one. And do you then look at it and think, well, we've picked 15, we haven't quite picked the right balance, so If we lose the batter, we'll pick a spinner. That probably would be common sense. But at the end of the day, they've got Banton over there, so they're expecting a like-for-like replacement, as in a batter replacement. But the problem for that is, where does Banton fit in? Banton's a middle. He's a top order player. He's a player that bats it probably in the first 4. Doesn't want to bat any lower than 5. And Jacob Bethel's not going to bat in the top 6 for England. So again, it's a little bit of a strange selection.
Indeed. Let's bring in Chetan at this point, because we've been talking about Rohit Sharma and that incredible 100. Chetan, you're the best place of all of us to talk about the, in inverted commas, pressure that Rohit Sharma has been under coming into this game, the perceived lack of form, the dropping off of his level. Well, that innings today was as high quality as anything we've seen in a very long time.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. I mean, he's played a form-turning, narrative-changing innings today. The kind of pressure he's been under, I mean, there have been question marks, and we ourselves have raised question marks on the talkSPORT channel about Rohit Sharma's longevity in the game and what his immediate future might be looking like. But let me tell you, over the last 3 months, everywhere he's gone, he's faced immense scrutiny, whether it's press conferences, whether it's interviews, everywhere. Even airports, if he's just getting out of the house, everywhere, I'm sure he's faced the toughest scrutiny. Not to mention the fact that he had to sidestep and sit out of the Sydney Test match. That was a huge decision to take in favour of the team's prospects in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So he did all of that, and he's weathered the storm, so to say. He's come here, he found the pitch to his liking, the bounce to his liking. England's bowling attack, if I can say so, was a tad depleted. It was certainly not their best choice bowling attack. And I don't think there was enough in the bowling attack to trouble him today. And combined with the factors that the way the pitch was behaving, the way the ball was coming onto his bat, and the fact that the confidence started flowing immediately after he hit those initial sixes, just finessing them, the lazy elegance to hit those sixes. And once he got going, there was no looking back.
He's a pretty cool cat. Do you think that he would have been affected? I mean, a bloke who's played 290-odd one-day internationals for India,
yeah.
He knows what pressure is all about. He knows it comes with the territory and all of that. Do you get the impression that he would have felt under pressure at all or not? Or did he know that, look, there's an innings not far away here?
Well, every time he's come out to speak to the media or any soundbite that he's given, he's always said that I'm looking in good touch. I'm feeling good about my game. And it just takes one day to get into form, to change the narrative, feel confident, whatever it may be. And, he's certainly done that today. But it would be almost abnormal to suggest that he wasn't feeling the pressure, because, just the narrative in Indian cricket is sometimes so strong. I mean, inside his bubble, I'm sure there was not much talk about it, but there have been so many rumors and reports and everything just flying all the time. What is the immediate future? Will Rohit Sharma be skipper after Champions Trophy? Will he continue playing international cricket? Will he be dropped from the England tour? The England tour is 5 months away, and we were already talking about that. So yes, those decisions need to be made, those plans need to be made as the next WTC cycle will start. India will start planning for the next ODI World Cup as well. But in the immediacy, there's no doubt he was feeling some sort of pressure. And I think today he will sleep really happy. He'll feel a sigh of relief. Because, look, he's going to the Champions Trophy because he wants to win the Champions Trophy as a skipper. It was a big, big pain. We're going to Ahmedabad. The next ODI is in Ahmedabad. And it's going to be painful for Rohit Sharma and company to go there. There were a lot of tears shed there on November 19, 2023 in that Indian dressing room when they failed to win the World Cup at home. So they are now going to the Champions Trophy to try and win that tournament and perhaps finish that ODI career on a high. So this knock tonight goes a long way in reinvigorating that confidence to go to the Champions Trophy, to go to that tournament.
Harmy, I'm just going to throw one stat at you with regard to Rohit Sharma. Today was his 32nd one-day international 100. The entire England squad between them have 32 one-day international 100s. So, and that's a squad that includes Joe Root. That is an incredible statistic.
It is, yeah, and he's a fantastic player. He is a wonderful player. I'm sure they're only talking about pressure because of the age that Rohit's at. He's 37 years old. I'm sure there's times throughout his career, illustrious career, he's gone through quiet passages and nobody's batted an eyelid. But I think because of the twilight of the time and possible retirement coming round the corner, that people are questioning that. But there's no question on talent. From the first ball he hit out the ground, you just knew something special was coming. Defended the next ball, hit the next ball for 4, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, right, how quickly can you go from out of nick to in nick in 2 shots? It was a phenomenal innings. In one, I think England can't be too disheartened too from a bowling point of view. You can question whether it is the best England attack, whether did they change their lengths up, were they samey. Sometimes you just have to go, you know what, somebody's played an unbelievable innings, and normally when they do that in white ball cricket, they end up on the winning side, and that's why Rohit Sharma's man of the match.
Absolutely right. Let's throw it forward now to Wednesday, because we've still got one match of this series to come. Darren Gough, you've been a director of cricket, you've been an England player. What do England do in this final game? The series is gone, but there is a Champions Trophy to prepare for. So how do England approach this one personnel-wise? What do they do?
Well, they have to win. They have to get some confidence going into the Champions Trophy. They have to try and get one of their batters to go on and get 100, 3 figures. That's the next target. We've got better in this game than we were the last game, and we have to improve next time. India are a strong side. On home soil, they're an excellent team, right? They're going to be up there with a chance of winning it. If England want to be in that same ballpark, with the personnel they've got, they're going to have to start and up their game. And one of them needs to go on and get a biggie. So it's a huge game, the next one. I think they'll bring Jofra Archer back again. They need to keep on getting him more game time. It'll be interesting what they do with Cast now, after he got, smashed out of the attack, 5 overs for 52, I think it was. So it'll be whether they bring him back, because if he takes another mauling, his confidence will be low going into the Champions Trophy. So that'll be interesting. And then it's whether they rest Rashid. I don't know. He went for a few today. He won for 78 from his 10. But we know what his skills are. I'm not worried about Rashid at all. I'm worried about the rest.
We'll get Harmy's thoughts on that in a moment as well, because we can now hear from Rohit Sharma, who's just been speaking at the presentation ceremony.
Couldn't have asked for more, right? Series win, match win, 100 number, 32nd. Yeah, how was it?
No, it was good. Really enjoyed being out there, scoring some runs for the team. Obviously, important game, series on the line as well. But yeah, I mean, I really broke it down into pieces about how I wanted to bat. It's a 50-over format, obviously a little longer than T20 format, and little shorter than Test cricket, obviously. A lot shorter than Test cricket, but obviously you still need to break it down and assess what you need to do at every regular intervals, and that is what I kept doing. It was important for a batter who gets set, needs to bat as deep as possible, and that was my focus.
Is it fair to say that start of your innings you wanted to play straighter and down the ground a lot more rather than across the wicket? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, you can say so. Obviously, looking at the pitch, when you play on black soil, the pitch tend to skid on a little bit. So it's important that you show the full face of the bat when you're batting initially. And then once I got into my innings, obviously I understood what they were trying to do. Bowling into our body and trying to, not give any room, so keeping it on the stumps. And that's where I prepared my plan as well of what I wanted to do to those kind of deliveries, trying to access, the gaps which were there. So it's all about just understanding what you want to do as a batter, and obviously got a very good support from Gill to start with, and then Shreyas as well.
Harmy, we were just talking a moment ago with Darren, just before we heard from Rohit there. How do England approach this next game in Ahmedabad? What do you think England will try and do in terms of selection and maybe game style?
I think for the YouTube fans, I think it's an absolute bonus not being able to listen to my voice the way I've been going in the last sort of 2 or 3 days. But no, I like Darren saying, I mean, there's 2 ways of looking at things like this. When you come to not a dead, it is a dead rubber, but a game which has not got a great deal on it, with a view that you've got something massive coming round the corner. Do you then look to rest your key assets, your Woods, your Archers, your Rasheeds? You can't rest everybody, but they're the three you rest. Or what I would like to do, England play Australia on the 22nd of February. That team that plays Australia on the 22nd of February should be playing India in Ahmedabad on Tuesday, whenever it is. I would go with whatever team that Joss Buttler and Brendan McCullum thinks, this is my first 11 for the Champions Trophy against Australia, 22nd of February, and throw it out there and roll them out against India here in Ahmedabad. And that, for me, would be the way I'd go. It's not a dead rubber. It's a game that's leading into a major tournament. Joss Buttler has to have some game plans and cohesions ready for when you get to Pakistan. And that, for me, starts on Tuesday when they get to Ahmedabad.
Right, Harmy did just mention Joss Buttler there. He has just been speaking with talkSPORT's Scott Taylor. Let's hear from the England captain.
So Joss, thanks for joining us. A 4-wicket defeat. Just sum up your thoughts after that one.
Yeah, I think improved performance from us. I think we're getting there. I think we got in some nice positions with the bat. We were set up well. Just needed a few more of us to really kick on and find another probably 30-50 runs there.
Yeah, you mentioned the batting, a really improved performance, and we mentioned Jacob Beffel's maturity in that first ODI. Did we see a more mature performance with the bat throughout, really?
A little bit. I think, playing the conditions, sort of trying to understand what we needed to do, but we knew we want to kick on and play aggressive and try and get scores that are going to be defendable. Obviously, it's a good wicket. Rohit Sharma played a fantastic innings. A few more runs on the board if we could have finished off better. Much improved.
And how do you find that balance between getting ODI experience into these guys, but also making sure their confidence doesn't get too dented with defeats?
Yeah, exactly. I think try and not worry too much about the results as much as we all want to win every game as desperately as you can. But we need to keep moving in the right direction. I think that's learning on the job, keeping keep the confidence high within the group, and also take learnings sometimes from the opposition. And like I said, I think Rohit's been one of the great ODI players for a while, and he played a great innings today.
And did you miss the pace of Jofra Archer and Bryden Cast today? I know Mark Wood was playing, but was that extra pace sort of missing today?
No, not necessarily. I thought the guys bowled well. We had some different plans, and trying to stop a guy like Rohit can be difficult at times. So sometimes you just have to doff your cap to the opposition.
And we heard some news at the toss that Tom Banton's going to join the group. How impressed have you been throughout the last few months? He had a stellar 24, but now in the IL T20, he's scored a couple of hundreds.
Yeah, he's been in some fantastic form for a little while, hasn't he? So he's obviously had a taste of international cricket before, and he's obviously been out of it for a little bit, played brilliantly well, and deserves his chance.
And Jamie Smith missed out today. Is there a chance we'll see him in Ahmedabad?
Potentially. I think he's doing some running there behind us. So hopefully he's not too far away.
And just finally from me, how are you feeling? You keep coming out and having to address the media after defeats. How are you personally?
Yeah, okay. Obviously, you want to get the results, and obviously you want to find some wins and build that confidence. But now the group's been really good. Obviously, Baz is excellent at making sure within the four walls of the dressing room we're all on good form. So everyone's good.
How important is that off the field camaraderie in terms of keeping confidence when the results might not necessarily be going your way?
Yeah, absolutely, it's crucial. Coming and playing India in their own conditions is a tough tour, whatever stage of your sort of cycle that your team is at. The guys have been good. Everyone's in good spirits. We're obviously desperate to improve and get better and ultimately win games of cricket.
Joss Buttler speaking with Scott Taylor just a few moments ago. So 2 down, 1 still to play because the final game in the build-up to the Champions Trophy. England scored 304, but they weren't able to defend it. India reaching the 305 they needed with 4 wickets standing and 33 balls to spare. Join us on Wednesday for the final game of this series as Ahmedabad gets to host a match in this series for the first time.